More news out of Ukraine. The apparent airdrop was very short-lived that was announced on Wednesday when the government said that they would be releasing an airdrop in order to reward donors who'd been sending crypto to support Ukraine in their fight against Russia. And then today they announced, the announcement was made by the country's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Digital Transformation, Mikhailo Fedorov, and he said that they decided to cancel the airdrop. They said every day there are more and more people willing to help Ukraine to fight back the aggressor. And they said that they're going to now announce non-fungible tokens. They're releasing an NFT to support the Ukrainian armed forces and said that they don't have any plans to issue any fungible tokens. This world is weird, man. I gotta say, like, you got Ukraine talking about airdrops and snapshots and NFTs and non-fungible tokens. Like, I did not expect that this would be the world that we were in. I mean, props go out to everyone who's supporting people who are fighting for their freedom right now, people who are helping civilians in Ukraine. Then you got the Ukrainian government coming in. There's a lot to dig into here. I'm just going to throw it off to Will. Will, handballing that to you.
Oh, yeah, I think you put it there well. I don't know what to make of this. Like, an NFT just seems almost as unreasonable as an airdrop, right? It seems to be a part of like the crypto joke going around and now it's made its ways into national headlines and into international headlines in the midst of a conflict. Whenever the first airdrop tweet came out, people were aghast at it, and there was a huge tweet that blew up yesterday about the number of donations that went to the Ukrainian account after the airdrop notification and before the airdrop notification, and the amount of donations afterwards were parabolically different than the ones beforehand. People are just interested in getting the airdrop token. They want money for money. There isn't a lot of charity on the one hand for a lot of people. I don't understand the NFT thing either. That just seems so. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of taste in it, right? Like an NFT to commiserate, or like, I don't know what the purpose of it would be. Typically, NFTs have been used to like, oh, here's like this cool NBA game I want to be a part of, or this profile picture. And now it's an NFT, like almost like a war monument that, typically that happens after the fact. Naomi, I want to throw this back up to you and see if you have any reactions to that.
I have a slightly different take to most people on this. First of all, there's a huge difference between sending money to a state, to a government's military to fight a war versus sending money to the people who are affected by this war. So that's the first thing that I'll say there. Second, a lot of people are angry about fundraising efforts that incentivize fundraising. Incentivizing fundraising is what people always do, whether it's done subtly or whether it's done overtly by saying, here is a thing in return, here is an NFT, here is whatever. I have absolutely no issue with finding ways to incentivize fundraising, and it works. As we saw in the charts that compare, before and after, people want to get in, and that's a way that you can help raise money. I think that that's totally legitimate. I think that a lot of people have this mentality of like being entitled to donations or being entitled to charity or feeling like it's everyone's responsibility, like they have to do this. It's like, well, this is a thing that people can choose to do, and it's great when they do. We should, feel really happy when people want to support causes that are important, and if we can find ways to make it more in line with their value system, or make them feel like they're more involved in this process, I think that's totally fine. If people are raising money for a good cause, do what works and find a way to raise money. In this account, like, as I said, there's a huge difference between raising money for a government's military and individuals. So it's like, I just have so many mixed feelings about all of this. It's just a really complicated situation. And it bothers me, all of the people who are just egging for war right now, egging for like nuclear war, saying that the US should get involved. Like, like, war is atrocious. War is disgusting. War brings everyone down. It isn't like you go to war and then you win and you're victorious and the world is better. War makes everyone worse off. And if there is a way to avoid war, it should be explored. Absolutely. So I really dislike this whole mentality right now of people who are just these warmongers pushing for it. I hate this media bias where people are just clamoring down and saying like, yeah, all the fighting, the glorification of all of this stuff, all of the propaganda images that are coming out on both sides with people with their gun, like this, like, we should not be feeding into into this. People need to get a realistic look at what's going to happen when the starvation occurs, when like the mass slaughter occurs. This is not a good situation. And if we can find ways to help people, however that's incentivized, people who are being hurt by this, we should. And if we can find a way to avoid conflict and avoid war, we should as well, because it's not going to end well. But Zach, I'll throw it to you for your thoughts.
Yeah, I big +1 on all that. And I just want to second sort of the absurdity of this whole thing, right? Like, Ukraine cancels airdrop is like a headline that is a headline now. And that's a crazy headline. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This war is not a crypto story. There are all sorts of interesting crypto side angles here, but this is a story of human tragedy on both sides, as Naomi said very well just now. So for this to just be unfolding as a sidebar to this big story of human tragedy, it doesn't make it any less interesting. And I think the airdrop thing was especially interesting. Yes, I'm aware of the absurdity of talking about an airdrop in a time of humanitarian crisis, but it was striking to see those charts, those Dune Analytics charts that show that spike. And it speaks to just how sticky tokens are, right? You could say, hey, this is like, the pledge drive equivalent of the NPR tote bag. But it's tokens, and there's money to be made here, and people will necessarily game those systems to be rewarded perhaps more than they should be in these instances. But to see the stickiness of tokens and to see the stickiness of airdrops and to see these people just sort of, jumping into this thing head first because of the promise of some future thing that no one even knew what the thing was, is really remarkable and is a really big feature of Web3 that I think people are slowly kind of waking up to. It's interesting to see this. Again, this war is tragic, but it's interesting to see these stories unfold.